Imagine this. You are standing at the edge of a vast, endless ocean. The horizon is bathed in gold, stretching so far that it blurs into the sky itself. You step forward, hoping to touch it, only to find that no matter how far you walk, it retreats endlessly before you. A cruel game of hope, distance, and disappointment. Now imagine, what if that horizon lived inside you? An unreachable longing, a constant pull towards something you cannot quite name. Something infinite, eternal, just beyond your grasp. You chase it in success, you hunt it in relationships, you seek it in pleasure and learning and creating and traveling and conquering your fears. And yet, each time you arrive, it evaporates. The promotion that was supposed to make you whole leaves you hungry for another. The relationship that promised to complete you leaves you aching with new emptiness. The thrilling experiences that were meant to define you dissolve into faded photographs and forgotten souvenirs. Why? Why is it that no earthly thing, no matter how beautiful, no matter how intense, no matter how perfect, ever seems enough? Why does every achievement collapse into dust in your hands the moment you possess it? Why does the soul seem wired for a satisfaction that nothing in this world can deliver? Could it be that what we yearn for most was never meant to be found here at all? Could it be that we are creatures of eternity, wandering a world of shadows, desperately trying to remember a homeland we've never seen? Or is it all just the cruel irony of existence? A desire without a corresponding reality, a thirst without water, a hope without a home. Hold that tension. Feel the weight of it pressing against your ribs, tightening your throat, stirring old memories you thought you had silenced, because what you are about to discover will not simply answer the longing, it will uncover the very architecture of your soul. But first, we must understand the hidden forces that carved this H into the deepest parts of who you are. The H you feel, the one stitched into every ambition, every regret, every sleepless night, is not random. It was not manufactured by culture or circumstance. It is a signature, an ancient mark pressed into the human soul by a hand far greater than our own. Augustine of Hippo centuries ago confessed it plainly. You have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our hearts are restless until they rest in you. Before the modern era ever conceived the word psychology, Augustine intuited the most fundamental psychological truth. The soul is haunted by an infinite hunger it cannot satisfy through finite means. Thomas Aquinas called it desiderium naturale, the natural desire for the eternal, the good, the true, and the beautiful, planted within us not by accident but by divine design. Blaise Pascal named it the God-shaped vacuum, a cavern within the human spirit that all the pleasures of the world cannot fill. Even those outside explicit faith, men like Soren Kierkegaard and Carl Jung, recognize the existential paradox. Man is a finite creature, cursed with an infinite yearning. And so every life becomes a frantic construction project, building towers of meaning, scaffolding achievements, patching broken dreams, desperately hoping to bridge the chasm between the soul's thirst and the world's dryness. This is not merely a philosophical abstraction, it is the beating heart of your restlessness. It is why modern humanity, armed with more conveniences and technologies than any civilization before us, feels more hollow, more anxious, more depressed than ever. It is why, as G.K. Chesterton quipped, every man who knocks on the door of a brothel is unconsciously looking for God. But here's the terrifying truth. When this longing is misdiagnosed, when we mistake it for a need for power, pleasure, or recognition, we do not heal, we disintegrate. We splinter into 1,000 restless selves, chasing the wind, piling up trophies that rust, whispering to ourselves in the dark that maybe, just maybe, the next thing will finally be enough. Yet beneath this frantic chasing, darker consequences are at work, forces not only fracturing the soul, but reshaping the entire world around us. You see it everywhere once you know what to look for. In the man who builds his empire only to find himself imprisoned inside it. In the woman who perfects her image only to wither behind the glass walls of admiration. In the endless scrolling, consuming, performing, desperate attempts to soothe, a hunger that refuses to be satisfied. When the longing for eternity is misunderstood, it doesn't simply lie dormant, it mutates. It festers into anxiety, depression, compulsive ambition, existential dread. The soul, wired for the infinite, lashes out against the finite in frustration, and the whole fabric of society is reshaped by this war. Modern psychology gives it different names. Cognitive biases that distort reality, like hedonic adaptation, the tendency to quickly return to a baseline of dissatisfaction no matter how many dreams come true. Neurological conditioning that trains the brain to seek dopamine hits instead of deep fulfillment, enslaving us to the next click, the next purchase, the next conquest. Cultural narratives that baptize this restless striving, preaching that happiness lies just one career move, one soulmate, one luxury item away. But these are symptoms, not the disease. The deeper malady is this: we are infinite creatures trying to live finite lives. We are homesick for a home we have never seen. And the more we try to fill the infinite cavern within us with the sands of temporal things, the more frantic, fragmented, and fragile we become. Society rewards the facade, crowns the busy, applauds the achiever, worships the self-made soul. But beneath the glitter lies a silent epidemic of despair. A despair no pill, no philosophy, no political movement can cure, because it is not a material wound. It is a spiritual one. And it will not be healed until we turn and face the real hunger blazing inside our chests. But what if there was a way, a radical, counterintuitive way to break free from this endless cycle? What if rebellion against the hollow promises of the world could lead us not into emptiness, but into wholeness? Freedom begins in the most unexpected place: surrender. Not surrender to the crushing demands of a hollow world, but surrender to the truth written into your very being. Imagine stepping off the frantic treadmill, refusing to let your worth be dictated by accomplishments, possessions, or applause. Imagine daring to believe that the gnawing hunger inside you is not a curse to suppress, but a compass pointing home. This is the rebellion the world never saw coming. Not striving harder, not grabbing more, but awakening to the reality that you were made for something transcendent, and that no earthly thing, no matter how golden, can substitute for it. The saints and sages who broke free were not those who numbed their desires, but those who let their desires burn brighter than the world could satisfy. Anselm of Canterbury called it faith-seeking understanding, the bold trust that the deepest longings of the heart have an answer even when the world sneers. C.S. Lewis described it with piercing clarity. If we find ourselves with a desire that nothing in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that we were made for another world. To rebel against the emptiness means refusing to live as if this life is all there is. It means letting go of illusions of control and stepping into the terrifying, electrifying possibility that the eternal has been calling your name since before you were born. It is not a retreat from reality. It is a deeper immersion into it. It is the shocking realization that true fulfillment doesn't come from chasing more, but from being rooted in the one who is beyond all change, all decay, all endings. But if this rebellion is real, if this longing truly points beyond the visible world, what then is the final breathtaking truth waiting for those who dare to follow it? The final truth is this: your longing for eternity is not a flaw, it is the fingerprint of God upon your soul. That ache, the one no success, no love, no pleasure can silence, is not a punishment. It is a whisper, a summons, a promise. You are not made for dust and decay. You are not designed to wither beneath the weight of broken dreams and fading beauty. You are crafted for unending life, for a joy so fierce and pure that every shadow of this world is but a faint echo. Augustine's ancient confession still trembles through the centuries. You have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our heart is restless until it rests in you. The longing in you is not asking for more experiences, more possessions, more distractions. It is crying out for reunion with the source of life itself. It is not a hunger that can be appeased by anything less than the infinite made flesh. In Christ, the eternal came to meet the temporal. The infinite stepped into time. The longing of your soul met the answering embrace of the Creator, who had already been pursuing you across every silent night, every restless day. This is not mythology. It is not sentiment. It is the deepest architecture of reality. The Christian story does not ask you to deny your longing. It invites you to finally understand it, to trace its burning line back to the one who is himself the fulfillment of every dream you never dared to hope could be real. Imagine living as if death is not the end. Imagine loving as if eternity already courses through your veins. Imagine waking up, not in despair, but in the certainty that your soul is anchored to a kingdom that cannot be shaken. The longing for eternity hidden in every soul is not the great tragedy. It is the great invitation. Will you answer it? Thank you for reflecting with me today. If this video meant something to you, consider liking and subscribing. And until next time, stay curious,